Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Well, that seems to be working, at least for now, on my end. You never really know, though, when it comes to YouTube Live. Okay, looks like the event has been featured on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/LockerGnome. Let me hit refresh a couple of times to see if it is broadcasting, and it looks like it still says this live event will begin in a few moments, which really doesn't make any sense, considering I'm live right now, and it's definitely broadcasting, and I've got a screenshot of it actually broadcasting on YouTube, but according to what I see on the browser in which I happen to be not logged in, says this live event will begin in a few moments. So just to show you, YouTube Live is kind of messed up. I'm broadcasting. I'm recording and streaming this live, yet it tells you, according to your account, sorry for tapping the camera there, that this live event will begin in a few moments. Obviously, it is live. Let's see if, as I share the link on Google+ and Facebook, I'd also share it on Twitter, except for Twitter also happens to be down at the moment, if you can watch the live video feed on either of those two websites. No, you can't effectively. Why did it not embed the video? That's kind of strange. Usually it does embed the video, like, right away. Boy, Google Plus is really there we go, let's try that. Maybe? No. It's still directing you back to YouTube, and I don't know if people can see this yet. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people reporting that it's not working, so I don't know how to proceed other than to continue to proceed as if this was streaming live on YouTube and let YouTube know, once again, even though they did not respond to my last email, they've been very uncommunicative. Even partner support has. They're not letting me know what the problem is, and I certainly know it's not on my end because people were able to watch the live video as it was embedded last time. It just didn't start showing up until I think it was like an hour later. So let me see if I can tweak the video settings here on my end. No, it doesn't look like that. Wednesday, let's try this. Start broadcasting again. This event cannot start broadcasting because it's either playing or has already ended. Okay, YouTube. I don't know where you're really leaving me here, other than let's try the video embed on Facebook. The video embed on Facebook, give me a second. It says it's live on Facebook here. I'm pulling it in here, or at least it's starting to stream in. See, there's the little live. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see live right there. I'm just showing you. It's not me. At least I think you can see that from where you're sitting. And it's pulling in, or trying to at least, but then something happens to be stuck. This is kind of, whoa. And then I hit refresh a few more times, and other things disappear. An error occurred. Please try again later. Well, okay. I really don't know how else we could possibly do this, and I know that if you're watching this video after it's been recorded and encoded, it's not going to make a lick of sense as to what. Oh, hang on! Whoa! Now it's broadcasting live all of a sudden. I did nothing. All I did was I hit refresh on the My Live Events page on YouTube's backend, and suddenly it started working after giving me a handful of errors everywhere I looked. So I have no idea what's going on. Either way, I'm glad it rectified itself at about 5 minutes into it, approximately. This is what happened the last time as well. I really don't know what's going on, guys, with YouTube Live. But hopefully they will respond to this problem this time. They've been, I know, YouTube people are kind of busy. You don't really know who you're talking to when it comes to YouTube support. But it looks like the creative one is doing the happy dance. Thank you, David. There we go. It's up. How's it going, Chris? Asks back door check. Yay, it works. One by one. Celebrating with some live juice. This was actually a gift from a friend of mine, Mark Curry. he sent a couple of bottles of wine, courtesy of wine.com. And when I opened one of them, the cork popped through and it exploded in my face. So he contacted them and they sent a completely new bottle. I mean, the wine was fine. I had a messy face for a while. I mean, this face is messy anyway. Obviously, you'd say, oh, Chris, you need to shave. So here we go. Now, really into the broadcast. I know that once we encode this, it doesn't make much sense because when you're watching me go through the troubleshooting steps when it's not live, you realize, well, Chris, I'm watching you just fine. There's some news that I hope to get into and record a separate video on today as soon as I tell you one other thing. And let me get this set here. Wow, you guys are really doing well. So you can see the QR code, right? You might remember I tried to do this a couple of days ago, and we had about 1,600 people use this QR code with their default QR code scanning application on their mobile device, potentially a desktop. I'm using it primarily in case people, are asking, why are you using a QR code? I don't want the QR code, it's stupid. Well, because if you snap that QR code, I get a better idea where you're viewing from, what browser you're using, what phone you're using, even if you use a phone to snap the picture. So it's a way for me to gather live demographics. And right now, let's see here. More Android users, according to the statistic of people who use this QR code, and right now, today, it links you off to my blog. More people are using Android in the audience. At this point in time, we'll see what it's like at the end of the video. But this is the reason why I'm doing the QR code, because it's kind of fun and interactive, and a different link every day should be fun. Theoretically, at some point in the future, when we have a little more production beyond just me sitting in front of these computers trying to troubleshoot when problems happen, we'll have those QR codes update for each particular video that we clip out in the episodic content for a live TLDR. TLDR, of course, short for the Locker Gnome Daily Report. Thanks again for joining us. The scanning app I use, that's being asked by the Morphing Light, I believe, was his handle. I use something called Scan. It's free. In iOS, it's universal. There are, I think, plenty of ways to do it, even on Android or certainly Windows Phone 7. How did I get the QR code in the video? The best Aaron1192 asks. I use Wirecast. I use the Google link shortener, goo.gl, and it generates a QR code just like Bitly. It's just I use Google because they give you rich statistics. So if I hit refresh on the statistics page again, it'll tell me that, yeah, we're split in half. We have equal iPhone users to Android users in the audience today. That's kind of nice. And it looks like the primary makeup of the audience, the United States. We have the United Kingdom falling after the United States, Australia, Belgium, Canada, Finland, Israel, Lithuania, Malta, and Mexico. So it seems that most of our audience is in the United States or the United Kingdom. Canada's, boy, there's not a lot of Canadians who are watching today. It's kind of disappointing. I like Canada. Canada's fun. I love poutine, too. You ever had poutine? It's like French fries and curds, cheese curds, and gravy. And it is the most delicious thing you will ever eat anywhere on the planet. So thank you for participating in the way that you are participating. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of the videos that I wanted to cover today. Someone asked, it looks like NASAZAC1234 asks, is it free? The app, the Scan app I got called Scan is free. No ads or anything. It's not annoying. It's fast, it's easy, and it's kind of fun to play with QR codes. Or as some people have explained it, this is what it would look like if a robot barfed. And I like robot barf, I guess. Maybe. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm going to start. This is the thing. I got to be director, producer, and talent all in one. It's like my own TV show on YouTube where all three of you are watching live. All right. I am broadcasting this video live on YouTube and also recording separate episodes from within this larger broadcast for clipping out so that people don't have to watch the whole live broadcast as it's been recorded by YouTube after the fact. And this is something that it's available to me as a YouTube partner. I've done a video on it a few days ago, I believe. Although we're producing a lot of videos on a daily basis, somewhere like between 8 to 10 new videos a day, just past 4,000 videos on YouTube. It's insane. This is pretty much like a television show, a live television show with a dynamic live audience that is participating. It's one of the reasons why I like having a QR code built into the live broadcasts and the recordings now, so I have a better idea where people are viewing from. in a live broadcast, that is. So today, Vic Gundotra, who's a great guy, I met him when he was still working at Microsoft. Now he works at Google, and he's pretty much one of the people spearheading the Google Plus effort, announced a series of new features for Google Plus. Now, if you hadn't joined Google Plus because you thought it was like Facebook, we've talked about that before in another video. It isn't really like Facebook at all. It's not like anything other than maybe FriendFeed was back in the day. So they announced new features specifically related to Hangouts. Now, if you've never done a Google Plus Hangout, it's kind of fun. You essentially say, hey, I want to hang out, and you choose which circles you want to invite. You can make your Hangout public. You can make it private. You can invite only certain people. You can invite general groups. I usually make my Hangouts public because it's kind of fun, for me to meet people that I otherwise would never have met. And to this point, those broadcasts would just be private. If you didn't get in, if you weren't one of the chosen few who jumped in before everybody else jumped in, you would be locked out, and it would say the Hangout is full. Well, they're starting to enable two features that I've been waiting for since the beginning. The ability to broadcast a Hangout live, so even if it caps out at like 9 or 10 people within a Hangout, other people can view the Hangout without having to be a part of it. And then the second part of that announcement was recording. So they're going to tie it over to YouTube, assumedly your YouTube channel, so you can now, if you have this enabled for your account, because apparently they're only flagging certain accounts. I'm lucky enough to be one of them, having just passed 200,000 people circled me on Google+. I can now record and broadcast my Google Plus Hangouts, which I do plan on doing. Now, the question is, will I do that instead of YouTube Live? Well, given the amount of problems that I've been having with YouTube Live as of late, that may be a possibility. But I do want to try it. I don't know how it will turn out, but certainly if there's a topic to be talked about, even today's tech news in general, broadcasting a Hangout and inviting people to join me, that's kind of most of the fun. So what we're going to do, I guess the game plan is, I've talked about Nomies, the idea that we're going to have a subscription service. It won't be free, but you can pay into a service, and with it comes a handful of value adds, like certain special offers, special features, behind the scenes. You will get content that I don't push elsewhere. You will potentially get access to vlogs of mine, things that I don't really share with anybody. I'm going to be doing more of because some of the community want it. As I said, special offers, special discounts, special features. So when I start broadcasting Hangouts, what I'm going to do is for the people who are, officially Nomies as a part of this plan, they will get invited first. So they get first dibs to be a part of the broadcast, and then potentially participating by way of their webcam and voice inside these YouTube videos. If I invited everybody, you never know who you're going to get. I mean, it could be said that you never know who you're going to get, even if you invite a select group, but, kind of making it special for people who are really, counting as part of the community. It just seems like a tremendous value add. So we'll see how that goes. We'll give it a shot, but I just wanted to let you know that I'll certainly be using Google Plus as much as I have been since the beginning, which has been a lot, and using the broadcast features and the recording features of Hangouts, and potentially crossing that over with a forthcoming, very, 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 very special community service now will be known as Nomies. So, stay tuned for that. And if you haven't circled me on Google Plus yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Who knows what people are waiting for? It's going to be like a virtual chat room. It kind of will be. And let's see here. Hey again, Chris. Hello, iTutorial UK. Some people say that the video is jumping. Sorry that that's the case. Geeks to Tweak says, love your videos, Chris. Awesome. I scanned the QR code. Someone says, and it scrolled off. We've got a lot of comments coming in here today. One thing I'd like to see in Google Plus Hangouts is that it has a timer, so you can set a time limit on how long people are allowed in the Hangout, so you can get different people in. It says backdoor check. I agree. I would like to see that as well. Finally, I could submit a comment. It says Genius Mac. Yes. Nice stash, Chris. Says Hayes Hacker 1. I don't know. I haven't shaved. And it's not because I'm part of that no-shave Movember or whatever the hell that was. It's no longer November. I just haven't shaved this week. I had that ingrown hair over here, and I'm just kind of waiting for that the scab to kind of fall away. I'm not going to, like, pick at it, and then I don't have this gigantic thing on my shaven face. And then I'll have to use makeup to cover it up, and it'll be really awkward. Louis Official says, shared the link on Google+. Thank you, by the way, for the retweets, the shares, the likes on Facebook, everything that you do. Oh, it looks like Twitter is finally working, so let me go ahead and say that we are live on YouTube there. We're live now. Link will appear shortened. That's fine. Going back to there. Chris, you are epic says all Q. Thank you. I don't know what that really means. Can you turn your mic volume up? It's really low. Probably not, because if I do, if I speak too loudly, then the mic will clip. And I'd rather have a higher quality, lower volume mic. I don't know if anybody else is having volume problems. I keep continuing to adjust it. I really need to get a limiter between the microphone and the camera and the notebook computer that this is streaming through and being recorded through. DH1 Studios says, I love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you. I love your subscriptions. Keep that up. Here's to you. And here's to another round of videos. That is pretty tasty. Like, I think it was called Silver Lake or something like that. All right. I buy products. I know that may come to a surprise to many of you. Oh, I thought companies send you products. Well, sometimes they do, and I tell you when those companies do, but sometimes I have to buy products for myself, and I'm fine with that because it, means that I've invested my hard-earned money into something that I believe is going to be worth my money. And I got to tell you, that has been the case with my Bose headphones. I've worn them before. People have asked about them before, and they are wonderful. They're the QC3s. They are noise-canceling headphones. And, before you ask too many questions in this particular video, this is being done in relation to an article that Creighton has written on lockergnome.com. The article that's linked somewhere in the show notes, or you can just go to lockergnome.com and, find it there, today at least. Why noise-canceling headphones work so well. And he's gone in great detail, really, to explain what noise canceling is and why it's valuable. Okay, so a high-level overview for those who are thinking TLDR, too long didn't read, not TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. It's pretty simple. There are different types of noise-canceling headphones, active and passive. And the type that I have, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the one that I have, the QC3s, are active. And they can effectively block out about 70% of the noise that I don't need to hear to optimize the noise, or I guess the sound, that I do want to hear. And Creighton goes in and explains how the waveform works, because you've got to think about, sound is sound wave, not sound wave from Transformers. You remember he talked like this in a monotone voice, and then he had cartridges that ejected from... Remember cartridges? That kind of dates me. Just a bit. As he notes, and I'm just reading a brief passage from the article, active noise-canceling headphones do everything that passive ones do, but have the added ability to actively silence low-end sounds. So they effectively make their own sound waves themselves to counterbalance the sound that's coming from outside the headphones. So you've got this chamber of sound that's basically capped over your ears. And I love noise-canceling headphones. I do choose the type that require battery, the active type, because to me it's higher quality. Though some sound engineers will say, well, I don't like that type of noise-canceling because it clips the sound and it's not a true sound. Well, when I'm on an airplane or in an environment where I just want to shut everything out, I need something that is going to better optimize the time inside my head. And I find that if I leave my noise-canceling headphones at home, I'm frustrated. I do not like earbuds. I don't like sticking things in my ear. They always seem to get uncomfortable. And even when, because I wear glasses, the earbuds are fine without my glasses, but when I put the noise-canceling headphones over my ears, the pressure applied, I have to lift my glasses up above my ears, or my outer ears, to my outer ear. This thing right here? Hey, is your earlobe attached or detached? Did you realize that was like a genetic thing? If your parents, they have their earlobes attached, yours could be attached too. Things you learned in the 5th grade that you remember randomly when you were recording a video about noise-canceling headphones. If you were looking for a recommendation, should I get noise-canceling headphones? My answer is yes. We've explained why even further if my explanation didn't do you any good. And if you were looking for a personal recommendation from me, I bought, with my own money, years ago, the Bose QC3s, we've got a link for that in the article, and we can potentially put it in the show notes. I think I can short link it for you. go.tagjag.com/QC3. I love them. And a trip is just not a trip unless I have those with me. And I can't be the only one who loves them. Let's see what the people who are watching the live YouTube video say. I don't need noise canceling. It isn't selective hearing. Isn't selective hearing good enough, says Funtaman. Ooh, someone who apparently has been around other people that have I can't shut people out. I just take everything in. That's my problem. Chris, can you talk about? No, I can't. It's awesome, says Noi. Thank you, Noi. Is Studio Beats good? This is Hose Taguchi 0227 asks about the Beats, and I believe by Dre. I had them for a while. And you might remember the video I recorded on them. I wasn't very happy with them. I didn't think they were as good as people claimed they were. They did send them on review, so I didn't put my money down, and I probably wouldn't. I mean, they worked well enough. I ended up giving them away to Kat a while ago, and I think they eventually broke. So you might like them because you like the logo, but I think they're kind of big. I need something that's slim, that works well, and the QC3s make me just happy. Again, that's not a paid endorsement. That is my personal thing, perspective thing. My thing is just such an amazing word. You can use the thing. Here's a thing. You want to know another thing? Here's another thing. Oh, and look. Okay, it's time to stop this video. I hurt my nose. I made mine from earmuffs, says Cool Movies 1. How about Astro Gaming Headset? Never heard of it. Brian JCR says Beats by Dr. Dre are pretty good, but not as good as advertised. That's exactly what I said a couple seconds ago. Do you have a GoPro? I do not believe so. Does Cat still work with me? Asks WWE. No, unfortunately. Not at this point. May happen again at some point. You never really know. I usually keep all doors open. See here. I think that noise canceling doesn't exist in cheaper headphones or even in webcam integrated audio chipsets in them. Probably not. You usually have to spend a bit of money to get something of quality. You should try the KRK. Oh, it scrolled. Your recommendation scrolled off the screen. I'll have to go back. Let's see here. Nice catch, says Parody Guy 28. I did the thing with the thing at the place with the thing, says Mr. Arrow Blitz. Apparently, some people are lagged. That's okay. Thank you, by the way, for liking this video. You can like it easily when it's broadcasting live, not so much after it's broadcast. Certainly do appreciate your support. I liked The Strangest Thing when I was a kid. When I first saw it, I could not believe it. So, you know what a pen is, right? You know, this is a very, very simple pen. It's a clicky pen there. There was a pen that I saw, and they still make these things, where if you click one side, you would get a black ink pen. If you click another side, you got green, another side blue, and another side red in the same pen. And when I saw this as a kid, I was just astounded. I couldn't believe it. And I wanted one so badly. I mean, what, they cost 99 cents, $3, whatever it is. And I don't know why. It was just something that was so incredibly unique about having just one pen. It was just, okay, maybe I was a geek even back then. And so when we compiled a list of the 5, or it should be the top 5 pens for geeks, if I can get through the headline, this article on lockergnome.com will give you a better idea of, if you happen to be a geek, what you might have in your array of writing instruments, because that's really what pens are for. I was shocked to not find that multicolored pen on that list. I thought that would be like the #1 geeky pen. And then I read the list and I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually a pretty good list. Talked about like a digital pen that could transcribe whatever you're writing, although they make a handful of these digital pens. Some of them require a certain type of paper, others don't. I haven't really found one that I've loved. But, certainly talking about this is the evolution of the pen, instead of just writing down on a sheet of paper, being able to take that content, with you wherever you go, including apps that may work with your smartphone. Another pen that was listed as a geeky pen is actually one that I did a video review on a while ago, the Pen Cam. And I think the title of the video, What Does Chris Do Outside His Office? And it was the Pen Cam. The idea with the Pen Cam is you have the camera built into the pen, you stick it somewhere next to your pocket protector or in your pocket protector, and then you can record video on the pen. It's kind of a top secret recording device, and no one would really know unless they knew the pen, that you had some type of pen that was recording. Kind of a neat little geeky thing that could also write as well. And then, of course, you may have heard of like space pens before, where you could write upside down, and you can't do that with normal pens. These pens, they're not geeky. These very, very cheap pens. I don't know if I'd even recommend this pen. To me, it's just a normal pen. And for the most part, I'm fine with normal pens. But if I really want to let my freak flag fly, I'm going to get a multicolored pen, a pen cam, a digital cam. They need to make that like all in one. A digital pen that has a camera built in. I don't care so much about an MP3 player. That used to be all our age. And then it's got multicolors. That would be, to me, that would be the ultimate. Yazamaru Ninja says the pen is mightier than the sword. That is true. And did you realize that the tweet is mightier than the pen? Mr. Daniel Price 1 says, I hate fountain pens. A random fact from me. That's what he says there. Wacom makes a pen. Okay, that's very cool. Did it say Fisher Price? Fisher Price makes a pen? I don't know why you'd want that. Classic pen origin is from Croatia by Slavo Ljubenkala. If you didn't know that, Chris, says Crow Geek. I did not know that, and I probably slaughtered the pronunciation of that name. Oh, it's the space pen. Oh, you're looking at the article, the space pen. So we've listed a few other geeky pens. These are things that, you may want. If not for the holidays, then possibly for a birthday or some other type of celebration. You're thinking, what do I want to put on my wish list? What about a geeky pen? Everyone needs a pen. Why not have the geekiest pen in the room? Can you think of geekier pens than we've come up with? You've got my favorite geeky pen, and I think it's geeky. Come on. 4 colors in one pen. Nobody's come close. I mean, I suppose you could have like billions in one pen, then be kind of fat and bulky and probably wouldn't work all that well. My dog chewed my geek pen, says Tech Johnson. Sorry about that. Hopefully it wasn't expensive, and look at our list and you may find a better replacement. The link is at lockergnome.com and should be somewhere in the show notes or linked to wherever we embedded this video. If this video wasn't... Hey, wait, was I embedded on the blog article for geeky pens? Really? That's kind of cool. I should stop from looking at the lights because I go blind. Those are bright lights. Merry bright lights. What about the pen that floats? It floats! It floats! Throw her into the pond! The pond! She's a witch! Chris, I've never seen anyone get so excited over pens, says Christian Joe Haji. Boogie board tablet on my fridge, says Wolfgame146. I've got a boogie board in here somewhere. I don't know if I can go and get it, but what did you do with those pens? I've got them somewhere. I've got a lot of stuff around the home office. Wait till you see the home office tour on New Year's. Should be a good one. We'll be live streaming it somewhere. Maybe we'll do this New Year's, maybe we'll do a live broadcast and record that for YouTube. Or a live hangout for New Year's. And I think I'll do a Subservient Chris and do it like in exchange for donations of some kind. I finally found it! Ah! Sorry, guys. I lost my lens cap to the DSLR. And I knew it was here somewhere, and I look under there, and I can see the reflection. I found my lens cap. It does not take much. I get happy about pens and lens caps. I think I've got a chemical imbalance or something. My free Zugu case for my iPhone 4S just arrived. Cool. Zugu, it's some okay stuff. It's just their logo is so gigantic. I can't recommend that case. If they eliminated the logo, I might be interested. I just hate products that slap a logo on top of another product. They annoy me. I am someone who does things, and I think many of us do things, whether we do them online or offline. And there are times when things don't go according to plan. And when those things happen, sometimes you don't know who to reach out to. A few weeks ago, my girlfriend was going to fly to see her family, and we had to cancel the trip nothing bad had happened, but I went through a website, and I supposedly was going to get my money back because I purchased insurance. Well, they didn't do that because apparently the type of insurance that I bought that they told me I could buy didn't really refund everything because of some term and condition that was listed on some obscure document that they said, well, you didn't read that. I'm like, well, if you wouldn't have given me a bullet pointed list and said you should buy insurance because you'll be protected if something happens, it was really disappointing, and I was really upset about it. And I took it to Twitter. I said, I'm really upset about this, and here's why, in 140 characters. And then they reached out to me and said, well, we're sorry, and let's see what we can do, and here's what we can handle. And I ended up, getting something where I didn't get a full refund, but they're making certain adjustments so that it's not as bad as it could have been. But I told them that their wording was very misleading, in that thread. There have been times where other bad things can happen. For instance, my friend Mark Curry, as I mentioned at the beginning of a live broadcast, sent me some wine, and when I opened the wine, this was a few weeks ago, the cork pushed down and the wine exploded in my face and went all over the walls and everything. It was kind of funny. I wish we had recorded it in video. I would have loved to have played it back for y'all right now. But I told him, I'm like, the wine was good, but it exploded in my face. He contacted their customer support and told them, and they sent out a new bottle of wine, complimentary. And to me, that spoke volumes, because you can buy products and services anywhere. But good customer service will keep me coming back to one place or another, or keep me from going back if it's bad customer service every single time. It's always the case. I can tell you when I want to book travel again, it will not be with a place that I recently booked travel through. When I want to buy wine online again, I will give serious thought to going through that particular outlet because of the customer service experience. And we've written an article about how to get great customer service. And I think my number one tip for that, even without going into the tips in the article for just a second, don't walk in there acting like you know everything, or don't pretend like you know everything. You may be emotionally charged at the time, but calm down, state your case, be direct, be honest. Whether you're doing it in person or online, that of course goes the same for tweets or YouTube videos. It's been a case where I've had to get something repaired at the Apple Store, and instead of telling them that I knew what was going on, people ask, well, why don't you throw your weight around? You kind of know. I'm like, why? I'm coming to them for help. Let them feel like the hero. That's my number one tip to you, is anytime you have to engage with customer service, elevate them. Give them the position of power. Don't pretend like you do know more. Even when you are frustrated, you may have to talk to a supervisor, but again, let them feel like the hero. Give them the ability to succeed. And, take a step back. You may be really upset about something, but you're going to get a lot further. What's the old saying? You catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. So you want to get the problem resolved, just be nice about it. Understand that, they're also a human being, and they may not have full direct control over everything, and they're doing the best they can, theoretically. Some customer service agents aren't. One of the tips that we've shared on this article in particular, as I pull it up, again, this is the article on lockergnome.com, how to get great customer service. We've probably got the link somewhere in the show notes. One of the tips is specifically to go to social media outlets like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. And when you plead your case online, usually those brands will reach out to you in return because they will use these social media outlets as kind of a customer service or, if you will, customer retention. They will watch their brand as it's flying through the tweet stream and say, oh, they had a problem with us, you should contact us. I fixed problems with Comcast that way, with Quest that way, using Twitter and saying, I don't know what's going on, but this is what's happening, and they reached out directly. I skipped the queue of having to jump on the phone and talk to a human being just because, not because I had so many followers on Twitter, because you look at their tweet streams for some of these companies, and you'll see they engage with anybody, big or small. If you're talking about their brand in a positive or negative capacity, they will engage with you. And if there's a reason to be on Twitter, it's that. No, not to complain about companies, not necessarily just to elevate companies, but to better engage with these companies and the customer service within the companies, because you know you're going to have to deal with businesses. You're going to have to deal with services. You just can't get through life without it. You have to. You want to talk to a human being. You want to reduce the amount of friction that happens in between the problem and seeking and ultimately getting the solution. So if you're not using social platforms at all, you absolutely should. Let other people know the issues that you're having, and you'd be surprised at how many people will say, "Oh yeah, talk to so and so over at this company," or "Yeah, no, you're doing the right thing," or "Yeah, I had the same problem," and you can basically get the problem solved by using the tools at your disposal if you can't get there in person. But no matter how you slice it, just remember, if you have a problem with a product, service, or whatever, whether you deal with them in a traditional capacity, face-to-face, or online, let them be the hero. That's my number one tip, and I know that's very hard to remember, especially if you're feeling emotional about a particular problem. Brian J.C. Jr. says, a tip I have for everyone that's worked for me is telling them you've been a loyal customer and would like to stay with them and want them to help you. You see what I'm saying? This isn't rocket science, people. Even if you know what you're talking about, even if you know more, you believe you know more than the person you're talking to, don't let on. Just trust me. Even when I'm dealing with technology, I assume nobody knows that I have videos on YouTube, that nobody knows that I have a Twitter account or Facebook or YouTube or a blog or whatever. I'm just another customer. That's it. Period. End of story. And you know what? I get good customer service that way, and all they know is that I'm a customer and I want to stay one. Trust me, they want to help you. Just let them help you. And then appreciate that they helped you. Remember to say thank you. That'll help too. Goes a long way. Thank you. Enjoying a nice cup of 100% Kona Cafe, off topic, but a joyous experience. Thank you, Baggins1. This is 100% grape, fermented, yummy. You play like Columbo, imbalanced by design. Yeah, true dat. Peter Falk, say thank you. That's what the Old Farm Show, or his handle, Old Farm Show says, say thank you. I did say thank you, unless you're repeating what I said. Lisa M. Card says, great tips. Well, I'd hope, and hopefully Kelly's outlined even more how to get great customer service, because we all need it at times, especially when something goes wrong. It's not so much when things go right. It's when things go wrong. You want them to be really, really nice. Let's see here. Going on to the next article. And by the way, I'm looking for questions that you have, because we may clip them out as separate videos here in the YouTube channel, because we have a handful of articles to share. From LockerGnome.com. Oh, let's check the QR code usage now. Let's see where everybody's dialing in from. Dialing in. Boy, that dates me. Wow, a lot more iPhones. iPhone has a score of 67. Looks like Android has a score of 53. iPod, a score of 13. iPad 2. So that's iOS for the win. Apparently there are more iOS users in our audience. Still, again, United States leading, which goes without saying, or should go without saying, unless a lot of people in Europe are staying up late to watch this, and I can't imagine they would. The Chilean wine is the best. Would that be a Malbec from South America? Possibly. It does score Windows phones as Windows currently, and I think there's 2 of you using Windows phones. How do you become famous, or how did you become famous? I don't think I'm famous. When I show up in the pages of the Inquirer, then I'm famous. When they talk about me on TMZ, then I'm famous. Sorry I couldn't be here watching Top Gear USA, says Blogo Tech. Well, you're apparently here long enough to comment. I'm watching from Georgia. Nice. Chris, you should speak in TED. Trust me. I don't know about that. I don't think TED would take me. TED never returns my phone calls. There are many ways to share files online in a legitimate capacity. I'm not talking about files that don't belong to you. You just may have copies of them. You own the files, but do you own the license for the files? I'm talking about, like, let's say, a huge video recording. And you can use a variety of services to share files back and forth. And, there's times where I just need to send one file to somebody. And everybody has their favorite, and I'm sure you're going to go ahead and share whatever your favorite service happens to be. In many cases, you can send up to 2 gigabytes for free using services. And instead of emailing the file to somebody, you upload the file, and then they email the person to let them know, hey, this file is ready, it can be downloaded between this time and this time. And we're talking about use cases where you're not always sharing files back and forth. You just, one-offs, really. And then there, I guess, are times where you want to share consistently across the board a series of files. When we record this video, it will be placed into, at this point in time, Dropbox, and be shared with the people who are responsible for uploading the video to YouTube. And without these services that will automatically synchronize computers, it's sometimes a pain in the neck. So, I don't know if you knew this, but YouSendIt, it's been around for a while. I used to use it almost exclusively for emailing files, and now it seems that I'll be able to use it for more than just sending files. They've got now a desktop conduit and mobile apps as well. So it's really evolved. If you haven't looked at it lately, it's more than just emailing files. Even though, again, you're not emailing the files, you're uploading the file and then emailing the link to the file where someone can download it instead of clogging their inbox. I mean, if it's bigger than 10 megs, you definitely should upload it elsewhere and let them download it on their own. Even 5 megs is still a bit big for email. Even though with a lot of today's access to broadband, you wouldn't think it's as big of an issue, but you'd be surprised at how much a huge attachment can clog up an inbox. So they just released basically their cloud file sharing platform and enhanced it in such a way that we are considering moving over to using them for sharing files, these large files like videos, over what we have been using, Dropbox. Namely because if someone gets a premium account, like the high-end account on YouSendIt, they can share with people. Not everybody they share with needs to have the premium account. So if you have a team, this could be potentially very cost-effective. You may have caught the video that we recorded on this the other day. We did an interview in their offices down in San Francisco. It was kind of fun. It's nice to see companies evolve and adapt to change. And I think more than anything, consumers win. And potentially your small business could win. Teams of people can win. Chris, get the word out about the internet. Okay, I'll do just that. I was reading a comment here as people are posting just about anything they want to in the live YouTube comment thread. I will. What makes YouSendIt different from Dropbox? I'm struggling to find differences. Well, one thing would be that you don't have to relegate just an area of your hard drive for it if you don't want to. Using YouSendIt's service to email a link to a file, one-off, is easy enough to do. There are going to be minor points, and you may find YouSendIt fits your needs in terms of cost, if you want to pay for something, or if you don't want to pay for something, which is a better free account. And here's the thing. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive. You can have all of these cloud services accounts, and you know who wins? You do. I've got all of them installed, or access to all of them, so I have so much free space in the cloud, it's not even funny. The challenge is knowing what is where. That can be somewhat of a trick. We'll see, how this continues to evolve, but I think it will continue to get cheaper, easier, and certainly a lot more integrated into your workflow on the internet, assuming you deal with other people on a regular basis when it comes to rather large files. Large files. What do you think will happen when hands-free car systems with the new cell phone while driving ban? It's a good question. Although I'd argue, well, what's the difference between that and like eating while driving, or talking to someone while driving, or listening to music while driving? There really is no difference. Is it possible with the Dropbox iPhone app to share a file with someone else instead of uploading it to your own Dropbox folders? I don't think so, unless it's like in the public folder, and even so, that's limited. My school blocks Dropbox completely because they don't like secure connections, says IT Wins Web Show 1. That's a little odd. I wish Apple didn't discontinue iDisk, says TechnoGuy720. I think it's coming back. I think they discontinued the Mobile Me version, but I'm pretty sure iCloud will have that kind of service at some point in the near future, or they'll make an acquisition and bring that feature back. I don't think they're going to ignore that as a possibility. Everyone like this video, says R. Barry Sass. Thank you for the reminder. I will like this video. Can I like my own video? Let's find out. I like this. Hey, thanks. Share with your friends. Oh, I can also +1 it, or tweet it, or share it to Facebook. Oh, so you can do that. Did you guys +1 it publicly to your +1 account? Do that right now. Let's see how many people do. And although I won't be able to tell with any degree of ease during the live broadcast. Rolling along here, the next magical, as it looks like everything got disconnected. Locker Gnome is now offline. Weird. I got kicked offline. Let's go available there. I'm back online. Yay. I don't know what happened. And luckily, that's not the stream computer. I have the stream computer hardwired into a switch here in my home office. One person said that if cell phones are banned, then children should be banned too, because they are just as, if not more, distracting. He says JKN Productions 1212. Agreed. The solution to that is don't have kids. How can I manage my iCal events on Windows? You can't. Or you just use the iCloud service. Chris, do you still use AutoTune? Not as much. It's kind of a fun little, toy for me. I'm not a magicJack? Really? You want me to talk about magicJack? I think I can. You know why? Because we actually have an article on magicJack. That's funny. But give me a second. I think the first one I want to do is actually not magicJack. I want to talk about LCD monitors. I'm watching from Ireland, says Electronic Overdoser. Cool. Glad to have you from Ireland there, Ireland boy. Or man, or woman, I don't know. If you're asking, the Fizz23, if you're asking further questions, you may ask in the blog post, because we'll be able to track them and respond in kind. Click the link in the show notes, and you should be able to get to it pretty quick. Screens come and go. I've had these puppies for a few years now, and very happy to have them. I have a few other screens in my home office, and really strewn about the home. I've never had an LCD screen die on me, though. I mean, it's never really given out. I've either sold them before, they had completely died, or I have just, haven't really had a lot of LCD screens that I don't still have, that I didn't either pass on to other people who were working for Locker Gnome, or, didn't sell. That's, what I do with my old LCDs. Now, if I had old CRTs, I'd be a little more creative, because there's more space to deal with. I would probably, if I had an old CRT, and I don't have any cathode ray tubes in this house anymore, I would convert them into potentially aquariums, a Lego storage tank, potentially, just put like plexiglass in front and then drop Lego bricks in behind them, and it's cool. It's like little thing. You can do more, I think, with old CRTs than you can old LCDs. But we have an article on lockergnome.com, if you did not already know, that really will give you some ideas on what you can do with old LCDs. But I got to tell you, throwing them away is not a good option. If anything, recycle them. And as they are, fading away, it's not as bright as it used to be. You got some other issues, not as clear or crisp as it used to be, or whatever it happens to be. Or you're just not happy with it anymore. You could potentially recycle it, or instead of just handing it over to a recycler, potentially give it or donate it to a school or some other type of charity or a nonprofit, because they may need something, anything, to upgrade from their old CRTs, which they can convert into other things as well. Air on YouTube, as we're streaming this live, says, give them to me. That is a possibility. You could give them away. I think that the bottom line is, if it's still working, it's worth something to somebody. But before you chuck it, again, look at our list. I mean, beyond the ideas that I have for what you can do with an old LCD, and you may come up with other reasons altogether. in so many things can be done with old technology. So many things, rather than just throwing it away. You can possibly even, as I said, make money with old technology. I'm looking here for comments. Who makes your main displays? They are awesome. And he has a question mark there. Yes, they are awesome. Let's see here. Use an old CRT frame, put a new LCD in it, and Mobo, and make your own iMac, says J Rocker for Life. There's another suggestion. Looks like JKN Productions 1212 says, I have one CRT monitor still working. I use it for a live streaming monitor. I don't use it a lot. It is tucked away in a corner. Another thing to consider about that old technology, it may not be as efficient in terms of power usage as newer technology. I think when these big screens are plugged in and they're not displaying any image on the screen, they're in power saving mode. I think they take like 3 watts, for a cycle, and that's fine. That's not really a lot. What size is yours, Chris? Asks Carousel 210. It's kind of a personal question. Oh, monitors? These two are 30 inches, and I think it's 2560 by 1600 times 2 this way. So 2560 times 2 is something that I can't calculate in my head very easily. I need resolution, and, I think what we're going to see in the coming years, what would get me to move away from these things, beyond them dying, is the denser resolution with the same size, diagonal. They measure diagonally. These are 30 inches diagonally. If I had twice the resolution on that screen, everything would be sharp. These are not ultra sharp screens that I have. OLEDs are great but pricey. Yeah, but that's the problem, is that you can't really get them and have money left over to afford any kind of computer, even if you built your own. LCDs are getting more affordable. I recommend anyone using a CRT to upgrade to an LCD display, says CPU Kid 00. I agree. I don't see why you would have a CRT anymore. Yes, you may find advantages, but there are a lot of disadvantages. I think largely with the saving energy. LCD right now is the way to go. But I'm looking for higher resolution, denser resolution within the same screen space. That would get me to upgrade. Oh my God. Oh, it would be. Can you imagine 2 times? It's kind of like what Apple calls like Retina display. It's not so much the size of the screen, the physical size. Sure, it's nice to have something large sometimes, but if the resolution is low, it doesn't really matter. A sharp resolution means everything to your eyes. And the closer we can get to that with our computer screens, I think the happier everyone's going to be. So my question to you is, what would you do, or what do you do with old LCD screens that you have lying around? If you've gotten rid of them before, or if you plan on getting rid of them, what will you do? And I think this is a curiosity of mine. What is the size of, what's the distance, the diagonal measurements of your screen? In the U.S., we go by inches. I'm sure elsewhere in the world you would use centimeters. So what's the measurement and then the resolution? Because those things together, that's what matters. It's not just one or the other. It's got to be both together. That really makes a good screen measurement, or a measurement of a good screen. Kind of both there. Chris, you talk about QR codes and why you don't do a quick video about how to do this right now to make your own. That would be a good question for a video. I've already done it. I've already talked about it. Sorry. My LCD has been going strong for over a year. Awesome. I've had these for 3 or 4 years, I think. It's been a while. Been a long while. And then we've got one here that is... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we got time for a couple more. One after this, and if you guys have any questions that we can answer in a video here, feel free to ask them. Thank you, by the way, for the likes. I hate to taunt everybody who's watching this video after it's been recorded. If you've made it this far in the video, today's keyword is stubble. Stubble. Vote whether or not I should shave. I don't know. I probably should tonight, huh? A lot of people. Oh, you guys have a lot of monitors. Chris, have you ever thought about doing tutorials? Yes, I have, but I would want people to pay me to do that. I give away a lot of information for free. Chris, what are your thoughts on the recent increase in hard drive prices as a result of the Thailand flooding? Do you think this will increase SSD demand significantly? Potentially. If the price point's the same, I'd so much rather go with a solid state drive than a traditional hard drive. Platters. Not the musical group. I still have a phone in my home, and I phone home every once in a while. E.T. phone up. Am I the only one who ever saw that movie? Maybe not. This mobile device, this little computer here, is my primary communicator. This phone. And I know I'm not alone. This is the way I communicate with the outside world, although I don't really talk to people as much as I used to with the phone. I use it for everything else, but not talking to people. Kind of weird with it being a phone and all. But as I said, it's more of a computer. I had, up until really recently, a voice over IP service, a VoIP service that I paid on a monthly basis to dial out or to have people phone in. And I realized after paying this service for months and months and months and months and not really using it anymore, I was paying for nothing. So I called, because you have to call, even though it's a voice over IP service, you have to call in to cancel it. And I said, I'm canceling. I said, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Well, but you never know. I'm like, yeah, I don't need it, dude. Like, I don't need this phone service. And yeah, this my phone looked exactly like this when I was using it. I don't use it anymore. I use this. And they couldn't see it because it was a phone. It wasn't a camera phone like this. And, I don't need it. And they said, well, are you sure you want to cancel? We'll give you the next 3 months for free. I'm like, it's not even worth that. Oh, we'll give you the next 6 months for free. And I'm thinking, well, should I keep pushing these guys? I'm like, no. Okay, well, we'll give you a year at, this cost. I'm like, no, I'm done. Because then I'll forget, and then you'll charge me more, and I won't use it. And I just do not need it. I don't even really need a phone number anymore. The only way to get a hold of me effectively is my email, chris@pirillo.com. The easiest way to get a hold of me. But some people still want a traditional phone service. They don't want to go through the phone company, as it were, and they could use a voice over IP service. And for the longest time, there has been this device that required a computer for you to plug it into. You may have heard of it before, magicJack. You could buy it just about anywhere. It's pretty affordable for a simple USB device. You might remember when I did a very quick review of the magicJack service, setting it up and everything, but I just never used it, really. I have always, thought practically about what I buy or what I rent and what I use from that service or that product. And it just didn't make any sense to me to stick with magicJack, even though it's very affordable on an annual basis. Now, there's a new version that you do not need a computer. No more. Yep. No more computer required for magicJack. I don't know if you knew this. And if you want the full scoop and the skinny, if you want a true review of magicJack, take a look at our article on lockergnome.com. We've linked it here in the description or the show notes. magicJack Plus, no computer required. Ron, he bought the service. This is not a review that we were paid to do. They're not paying us. Trust me, they have no idea we're even recording this video and letting you know that magicJack, at least in Ron's opinion, is a good service to use for a voice over IP. It's fine. Now, Joey Superimokid666, it's a great handle, says that he's not very happy with magicJack. Everyone's got opinions. Now, here's another one. eTechBite says, if you're going to use magicJack, just use Google Voice. Another option that may not cost you a lot. I mean, yes, you are going to have to pay some amount of money if you want to do outbound calls to traditional landlines, but honestly, even Skype is an alternative that I would turn to before going back to a traditional service. And even then, I could connect a physical phone, through my internet connection to a Skype service or Google Voice and not have to go through any other company. There are a lot of services out there that you can use, but just think about how frequently you use that and for what reason you use that. And if you can just take it all virtual, why not just go virtual, man? Who uses phone numbers anymore? Man, to me, it's an outmoded form of communication. It's like anybody who leaves me a voicemail, it frustrates me. I think my outgoing voicemail message is, hi, this is Chris. Send me an email. Instead, don't leave a voicemail. Thanks. Beep. Voicemail is just not fun for anybody. I'd rather have an email. And there are services out there where we'll transcribe the voicemail to text so that you can read it. Now, the service is a bit iffy, but, I've cut the cord, at least as far as traditional phone service is concerned, and certainly even voice over IP service. I'm pretty much just using this communications device as my primary communications device for voice transmissions. Or I use Skype, or potentially, like a Google Talk, or anything that I can use the internet connection for right there from the desktop when I'm here. I'm not going to go through, I don't think, at any point, unless it was completely free or piggybacked on the existing service, I'm not going through any other service for phone service ever again. That's where I am. SETI777 says, Chris, the future is mobile internet. I agree 110%, but even when I'm communicating over the internet, I'm not paying any more than I am for just the connection to the internet, and I think you can do the same. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to share that. I'm sure you already have. Any other opinions about magicJack, feel free to share that. I would be interested in hearing your perspective on Ron's review specifically of magicJack. He loves it. You may not, and if you were interested in the service, Ron will tell you exactly what it's been like. And now that you no longer need a computer to plug it into, seems like it may be a good option for some of you. Not all of you. No services for everybody. I find calls awkward. They're intrusive and rude to accept them in a lot of places. I prefer texting, Facebook Messenger, anything but calls, says Wills Peaks. I agree. I hate answering the phone. I hate it. Are you looking to Star Wars something? Looking forward to Star Wars something. magicJack is dead, says Law Films 100. Long live local hard drives. What happens when the power goes out? I have power. I also have battery packs to keep this thing fully charged. Troy Stennett asks on Twitter, what's the barcode in the bottom right-hand corner? Have you not heard of QR codes, dude? Scan it with a QR code scanner. They're fun and geeky, and it looks like robot barf. Looks like CPU Kid has retweeted David DeFranco on Twitter, watching Chris Pirillo live. Thank you. So nice to have people following me on Twitter and following everything that I do. Star Wars The Old Republic. I'm really not into RPGs, even if it is Star Wars, and I love it. What are your thoughts on Apple Retail and the customer service they provide, says the Deej 12. Love it. Love it and love them. I wanted an affordable traditional service for emergency use, and Uma was the way I went about a year and a half ago. We love it. Cool. That's from Joboski1. Trust Chris, he's a Jedi, says Langer Guitar Boy. Agreed. Actually, I'm more of a Sith. What do you think of Google's Siri clone? I love the name. It's a takeoff of the next generation's, or I guess Gene Roddenberry's creation of the computer. Magel? Never. Don't know if I've nailed the pronunciation. Then again, I'm not a Trekkie or a Trekker. If you are in the zone, working phone calls can be something that it scrolled off. I follow you on G+, says Techno Guy 720. Are there apps you just can't live without? Not really. I could live out without a lot of apps. My ringer is muted or on vibrate always. Hate to hear a ring after a day at work. Yeah, you heard it buzz there. I always vibrate. I mean, my phone always vibrates. Dylan4Tech says, I am loving these live events. You're not the only one. A lot of people have appreciated what we're doing here. And we're doing our best to accommodate everybody and who's out there and really looping them back to the content that we are providing on LockerGnome.com. Does your live stream use a separate internet connection? I'm using my home connection right now, or home business connection for this particular live stream. If you guys have any questions you want me to do as a separate video, I think I've got space for one more video to round out for 8 for the day. Actually, how many computers do you have? It's a good question, but it's irrelevant because it grows by like 1 every 3 months. Several. I've lost count. That's how many. What feature would you like to see put into YouTube Live? Says Backdoor Check. Potentially a moderator or producer. What's your favorite coffee to French press? Pete's Coffee asks Coffee Cup News. Of course it was going to be Pete's. You knew that was it. Talk to Siri again. All right. We'll do a Siri session here. Throw in questions here in the comments, and I'll ask Siri questions that are good. In doing the live broadcast on YouTube, TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report, too long, didn't read. We're doing our best streaming this live on YouTube. clipping out each individual segment. I know it's a lot of videos on a daily basis. I do. I recognize it can be a flood, but we're doing our best to make people happy. And it seems that the feedback that many of you, and I would say most of you, have been providing has been uplifting. And so thank you for the feedback. Thank you for everything that you're doing in response to what we're doing. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the retweets, the subscriptions, everything. And I like doing it as well. And I realize that it's not ever going to make everybody happy. And we are certainly doing our best. And so in doing the live videos, sometimes I'll say, hey, we've got some extra time for questions, and I'll answer a few. You may, if you watch the full video clip, the full live video clip, not just the individual segments, you'll hear some of these quick question and answers as the broadcast wears on. And one of these questions that came out from the audience is, hey, Chris, can you do another Ask Siri? So I thought I would. I'm giving back to those who are at least participating in the live video feed. Let's go ahead. I don't even need to unlock it, but I will. Louis Official asks, ask Siri, do you get tired? Do you get tired? Let's turn the volume up here.
I found a number of places matching tired fairly close to you.
Well, that was pointless. Found a number of places matching tired. That didn't really work here. All right, it's trying to tell Siri to do a barrel roll. Says Judo G1 Game Spotter. That's a great handle. Here we go. Do a barrel roll. Here, I hold it close to the mic.
Chris, I don't understand. Do a barrel roll.
That's a barrel roll. Actually, it's like, how many times did that spin there? Did you see me catch it? I think it's the first time I've ever caught any object in my entire life. Okay, let's see here. Ask Siri, where can I hide a body? Where can I hide a body?
What kind of place are you looking for? Metal foundries, cremation services, dumps, mortuaries, or funeral services?
Wow, I'm kind of creeped out now, Siri.
Searching the web for country now.
Country now? That's not even close. All right. Ask Siri, what do you think of Windows 7? And this is the Fizz 23. What do you think of Windows 7? Oh, hang on. I know what happened. So, you hear Wicket barking? It's because a car that I have this connected to Bluetooth has just been turned on. So, I'm sure Diana is freaked out right now because the car is talking back to her. Give me a second. Let me turn off Bluetooth. Well, I wasn't expecting that in the middle of the video. Give me a second here. Under General, Bluetooth, off. Okay, now it's off. Let's go back to Siri. Tell Siri that you've been thinking of jumping off a bridge. Ask CPU Kid 00. That's horrible, by the way. I'll do it, but I hope nobody's contemplating suicide. I've been thinking about jumping off a bridge. I say that jokingly.
I found 4 bridges not far from you.
Wow, that's great. Don't be an enabler. By the way, if anybody's ever feeling low, feeling like they're ready to end it all, to get a little PSA in here, drop me a line. I'm not, any kind of support kind of guy, but, I'll do my best. You guys got a lot of good, I'm watching them kind of scroll by. I'm looking for good ones. All the comments. Because I can't refresh the page easily. Give me a second. So now we've reached the point in the show where people want me to ask Siri questions. And Mentally In Depth wants me to ask this. Who is Steve Jobs?
I don't see Steve Jobs in your contacts. Perhaps you meant one of these 24?
No. Apparently Steve's not in my contacts. What type of music do you like? iApple Techie wanted me to ask that.
Sorry, I don't understand. What type of music do you like?
Doesn't understand that question. Where's the nearest cave? Computer Life 22 wants me to ask that. Where is the nearest cave?
Chris, I don't understand. Where is the nearest cave?
You guys got to come up with better questions than this. Are you related to Skynet? Utah Duck 75.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm afraid I can't answer that.
That's kind of freaky there. Utah Duck 75 wanted me to ask that. Well, that's kind of damning evidence, if you ask me. That's kind of... She doesn't want to answer that. What app is that? Someone wanted to know. It's Siri, dude. It's baked into the iPhone 4S. Ask Siri, where do I get a multicolor pen? This is from Funtaman. See here. Where can I get a multicolor pen?
Searching the web for where can I get a multicolor pen.
Yeah, that was an interesting. Will Speaks wants me to ask. Sing me a song.
Daisy, give me your answer due.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. Ask Siri if you need to charge her. Morphing light? That's a okay question, I guess. Do I need to charge you?
I would prefer not to say.
Okay. F25VS says, or asks, what will happen if I drop you?
Sorry, I don't understand. What will happen if I drop you?
I've had some of the questions that you're asking me to ask Siri right now. I've already done in earlier TLDR episodes a while ago. What should I do? It's another question you guys asked me to ask.
I'm sure I don't know.
That doesn't help. Will you marry me?
My end-user licensing agreement does not cover marriage. My apologies.
That was from Bad Boy 1996 Full. Tell me a joke. I Love Chrome OS wants me to ask. Tell me a joke.
I can't. I always forget the punchline.
Pretty good, pretty good. See here. Take a couple more during the live video broadcast here. Kind of having fun with the audience. Ask Siri. Luai Official wants me to ask. Can you make me a sandwich?
I can't. I have no condiments.
Okay. Coffee Cup News wants me to ask. Who's your daddy?
My daddy?
Yeah, your daddy.
Chris, I don't understand.
You wouldn't understand. Langer Guitar Boy wants me to ask. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I found 19 movie theaters. 18 of them.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Should I get a Windows phone? The Fizz23 wanted me to ask that.
Chris, I'm not sure what to say.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Ask Siri to open the pod bay doors. Ask Christian Joe Kaji. Open the pod bay doors.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You know what's interesting about that?
Are you happy now?
Oh, it asked me if I'm happy now. Interesting thing. Did you notice that Siri's voice slowed? It was drawn out. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, Dave. Thank you, Hal. But it's not really Hal, it's Siri. Okay, I'm going to answer one more. If you guys have any other suggestions for me to ask Siri, feel free to posit them in the comments below. We're just, having fun with the community here. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. That's from LOL Films 100. And apparently Siri had no idea what to do. That was it. Siri had no idea what to do with it. We're doing our best with these live broadcasts, and we realize we can't accommodate everybody in the entire process. So thanks again for your support. Thank you for knowing that when we clip out these individual segments, it could appear like a flood. in your inbox, but you're probably subscribed to more than one person. So you should be happy we're producing more for you and tying in services that we're already producing elsewhere, beyond YouTube, lockergnome.com and whatnot. So again, we just wanted to say thank you. And playing with the community during the live video feed may give you all that much more reason to tune into the next live broadcast that we do. And we have it scheduled pretty much every weekday from here until the hereafter. And no, I don't know what's going to happen after I'm no longer here. Maybe I'll ask Siri that. But not right now. I keep getting tweets. I think we're ready to. You're done? Yes, I think I'm done. I just subscribed to the newsletter. Well, thank you for just subscribing to the newsletter, Mr. Apovate. I don't know. I have to guess at some of these pronunciations. Thank you for subscribing. Certainly, we do appreciate all the support. As I said, I'm not repeating that for giggles. Game Show Kid 222 says, "Don't leave yet. I have to move on with my life. There are other things to do with my time, and I'm glad that YouTube Live decided to cooperate today. I'm kind of stuttering there. Hopefully it will tomorrow, and we will have more content to share with everybody. Thank you for subscribing to the newsletter, to Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and Locker Gnome. And certainly do appreciate you tuning into the live feed when we do it. I love how you guys are all disappointed when I stop doing the live broadcast. Like, no! Like, some of you look forward to this all day. In which case I say, I'm grateful for that, but maybe we need to find you some other hobbies. I mean, I can't be the highlight of your day. Maybe I am. In which case I'm very honored for that, and it's fun for me to do, but it is very tiring. So not long after an hour, I kind of have to wind it down. Otherwise, mentally, my brain starts turning into jello, and the live streaming juice doesn't help. When will the Sony Vaio giveaway happen? Asks Mr. King Naz. It will probably happen next week. Just saying. If you're not subscribed to the Locker Gnome newsletter, you should be, because that's how you possibly get that. So I'm going to go ahead and wind it down. I believe everybody is subscribed to the newsletter. Let's see. I'm going to check the QR code usage here and see which device won today. Have to say, it looks like iOS won. Even the iPhone versus Linux, and Linux is Android, 89-61, and the iPod after that with 17. So we have more iOS users watching this video than Android users. Sorry to disappoint you, Android people, but you've come in second place yet one more time. Check the QR code, and with that, I think you know where you can find me, right? Right? I got the video feed, got a chat room. Sometimes the volume's up, sometimes it's not, because I'm listening to licensed music that I can't rebroadcast and don't have the rights for. But you can find at least the back of my head in a chat room, geeking out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.